All right. Good evening. So give everybody a couple of seconds to get jumped in here. What's up, Mad Dog? What's up, Hero? Salutations. Give everybody just a second here because we're going to hit the ground running. Evening, Hybrid. All right. I know Irish said he was probably not going to be here. He had to do some training that was like 2 hours away from home. What's up, Blame Tag? Is it slow there tonight? Oh, we got crazy cats in the background. That's great. Good evening, Russell. Hello, Erica. All right. So we're going to get started so we can get the ball moving here. We're going to go ahead and jump into the headlines. These are all Dollar Tree centric. So the links to all the articles are in the description of the video as usual. So let's go. All right. So headlines and headaches, Dollar Tree edition. First one, Dollar Tree names former Dollar General exec Rick Drayling as CEO. Oh, that's just lovely. Dollar General's much better. But anyway, everyone looked up to her. Family and friends want to carry on mission of Dollar Tree employee killed in attack. And that's referencing the individual who was killed with a machete while at work. So that's pretty terrible. San Antonio Dollar Tree installs noise machine to deter homeless, drawing criticism from the neighbors. Okay, wait a minute. So we can't pay people for shit. Our store conditions are awful, but we're going to pay money to have a noise machine? Yeah, okay. Man accused of robbing Dollar Tree, holding employees at gunpoint in Volusia County. This one was interesting. Report $1,700 taken following card game at Orangeburg Dollar Tree. Evidently, a customer came to the register, challenged the cashier, to do some card trick or whatnot. The cashier lost. It escalated $1,700. I just don't even understand that. Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office responds to Gulf Breeze Dollar Tree incident. Punches fly as cash register theft turns violent at Dollar Tree stores. Nice. Police, 4 shot at Dollar Tree in New Orleans. This one was rough. Former Dollar Tree manager arrested for allegedly stealing over $31,000. For those of us that are aware of how much money cash-wise goes into a Dollar Tree, it had to take a minute to do that. The person was actually doctoring deposits. And then the last two are actually from the Department of Labor website. First one is Department of Labor cites Dollar Tree again for endangering workers, continuing company's lengthy history of workplace safety violations. And then another one, discounting safety. Dollar Tree's history of ignoring workplace safety hazards continues with a $1.2 million in penalties at 2 Family Dollar stores in Ohio. So, yeah, they just continue to do whatever. Having said that, so let's go ahead and talk about our wonderful sponsor, since Blame Tag's in the chat, the Serving Times. Poopable news satire for the customer service community. He's on a roll. He's pumping the articles out at a fevered pitch. The link's right here on the screen. The link's also in the description of the video. So go read his stuff. It's worth it. So having said that, this evening I have a manager, a current manager for Dollar Tree. She will be going by Blank Stairs. So Blank Stairs, if you were there, say hello.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep. Can you guys hear her fine?
Okay.
Make sure we get some confirmation that everybody can hear you.
Okay.
They should be able to. Yes. Okay. Cool. So give us a little background, how long you've been at Dollar Tree, what your position is, what position you started at and whatnot, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, I started working for Dollar Tree in May of last year, 2022, and I started as a cashier. It didn't take me but 2 months maybe to move up to operations manager. So I started that in July, and I'm still here.
So, how would you classify your experience with the company thus far?
Ooh, honestly, mostly not very pleasant. I've I've had a lot of stress that I deal with at work and take home with me. It it hasn't been very good, and like I was saying before we came on live, yeah, I want to go back to healthcare. I don't think retail is really for me because of Dollar Tree. It's almost it's been traumatic. Not to sound dramatic, but I feel traumatized some days.
What kind of area is your store in? Is it a fairly decent area or is it a low income area?
We have a lot of low income, but it's a small town. Um, it's a low crime zone, but we do see a lot of shrink in the store, of course.
That is the most amazing thing to try to explain to people.
hmm
That the amount of theft that comes out of a dollar store. Real quick,
I
so you were there during the whole going from a dollar to $1.25, correct?
I think I came in like very shortly after um, it was switched over.
Now, have you heard? Are you continuing to hear complaints about it being $1.25 now?
Yeah, we need to change the name to $1.25 tree every day.
Wow, that's insane. So we
Mm-hmm.
were talking off stream, just like Russell with us. She gets one truck a week. Now, how many cases on average is your truck? Would you say
On average, from what I've been told from the merch managers, about 1,200 a week.
1,200 a week? Now, what kind of payroll
hmm
are you getting to get that 1,200 put out?
Uh, well, right now we've got two merch managers. One of them's out on medical leave. The other one is currently averaging 17 hours a week, and during the day it's just managers here. As assistants, we average about 30. But since they don't want to hire enough cashiers, there's always a manager running register during the day. So it's not getting put out like it used to.
Are you guys still doing the productivity sheets that you put on the U-boats?
Yeah, for the box to count the boxes.
Yes.
Yes,
That is such a waste of time.
right.
Such an absolute
Go
waste of time.
win the week.
Yeah, win the week. So for you Dollar Tree folks out there, I confirm that they're still using Compass, which I think is one of the shittiest software programs ever created. Um, it never could do an auto schedule right to save its life. But going back to what you said, so it sounds like you just have managers working in the building at this point, and your merchandising managers. Did you say those are not full time positions?
They're supposed to be. Technically, those two are full time, but they do not get full time hours.
Whoa. Now, is that by choice or is that by store manager not giving them to them because of payroll?
I'm pretty sure it is not their choice. Um, I know they both need the hours, so I'm confident that they aren't choosing to work just about 17 hours a week.
And you said you're getting around 30?
Yeah,
See, now, but you're hourly still, right? You're not salaried.
correct.
Now, what about your store manager? What kind of hours is the store manager working?
He on the schedule, it's typically 48 a week, and I would say he does hit that or come close to it. He's here, most every day and up until the evening time.
Um,
But
how's the stress
you
on him?
who he was fine when he first came here. He transferred from another Dollar Tree, and this store was just a disaster. in my opinion, the most neglected in the district. His stress hasn't been too good lately.
One of the questions was, do you guys get to leave for your breaks?
No, we're not supposed to. There's a fast food place right next door that I I dart over to on my 30 if I'm hungry, and that's it there and right back. We're not supposed to leave the property.
Well, wait a minute. So when you get a 30-minute lunch, they're telling you that you cannot leave the property?
Yes.
That is some bullshit, if I must say,
Hmm.
because we did
Yeah.
not have that. Now, is that because, okay, d- is that for everybody or is that just for key carriers?
I think during the daytime hours, if there's more than one manager here, it's okay to leave. But where I'm on evening shifts, I'm not allowed to leave if I work long enough.
Okay, I got you. So it's one of those deals where the day shift manager and you swap and you come in and you're working right over the break threshold, but you're not allowed to leave, correct?
Yes.
That is some bullshit because
Hmm.
that's a problem that they've had for a long time. I can tell you. And I'm sorry, I'm not judging your store manager by any means, but
Right.
you that 30 minutes is your time, okay? And there should be coverage to where you're able to leave.
Hmm.
And because you can't be trapped there. Now let me ask you, how many people are closing that building? Just a manager and a cashier?
Yes, every night.
Do you have any nights where you just have one person closing?
I've been lucky enough so far that I've not had to be here by myself to close. But during the daytime, sometimes the manager is here alone until the next person can come in.
Wow. That is,
Hmm.
the scheduling's an issue. Scheduling's an issue. It was an issue back when I worked for them, and you had to be creative in how you scheduled. I mean, you really did. Some managers look at it like, you know, um, they like the store manager will schedule a bunch of people around them while they're there,
Hmm.
and then they leave, and then all of a sudden you have nobody for staff. Whereas I would try to make sure that, especially on weekends, we were kind of fortunate, for a while, on weekends we might would have three people in the building closing.
Hmm.
And, there's a lot of managers that wouldn't do that. There were a lot of managers that thought they were going to gain favor by cutting payroll when it just your store falls apart. And when we get into the pictures here in just a second, people can see, you know.
Yeah.
Now those pictures are recent, right?
Yes, I took them the day I sent them to you.
Okay, so how many people do you have working your truck?
Um,
Or rather, do you have dedicated people working your truck? Or is it you've got your merch manager there and then the cashier that's there and the other manager that's there? You guys are the stock crew?
we have merch, the two merch managers, and usually store manager. It's from what I've noticed, it's them three, and then whatever other assistant is available, they're up on register. So about three of them doing truck.
How's your Saturdays look? Is it just awful?
Um, in what context? Sorry.
Like obviously not enough people to handle the amount of business that you
Um,
do. Like, do you spend most of your time there on a register?
I've got yeah, yeah. Week Saturdays are rough. It's the scheduling's always the same. Like I come in about 3:30 every day, and when I come in, it's just me and whatever other managers here. So I get on the register for a couple hours till cashier comes in, and lines get backed up, people unhappy. So, yeah, Saturdays are rough. I honestly hadn't thought much about it, but that's a good point. Saturdays are rougher.
So I would imagine, because it was for us, it's damn near impossible to recover that store.
Yes, yes.
So I mean, and you'll get it fixed and it'll get destroyed, really really fast. So it, are you guys stopping the balloons due to the helium shortage, or are you still doing balloons a little bit?
We was doing balloons up till a couple weeks ago. We've been out of helium ever since.
Wow. So what are you guys going to do for Valentine's?
I don't even know. And I noticed the other day we have one of them signs in the ground that says something about get your Valentine's Day balloons, and we don't even have helium.
Oh God. That's what I used to call Balloonageddon, because we blew up so many balloons and just had them strewn all through the store up to the ceiling. And that's the
Hmm.
other thing. You look at a busy Saturday, you and a cashier are on a register, and all of a sudden you got somebody hollering, "I need 5 balloons."
Hmm.
And I mean, it's a no-win situation. I mean, you're going to piss
No.
people off. So what I'm going to do real quick while we got people here, I'm going to pull up these pictures. All right, and let you guys see what's going on here. All right. So this is a back room shot. Um, Blank stare. This is the one that has the crush and the Mountain Dew.
Okay.
All right. So guys, look at that. Look at that. So from that picture, blank stare, how many feet are we looking at, if you could guess, from say the Mountain Dew all the way to that back wall? How big is that?
Mm, you mean like how long is it
Yes.
roughly? But okay. I want to say it's got to be more than maybe about 60 feet if I was guessing.
Okay, 60 feet, I'd say would be generous. So, guys, I want you to look at that. Think about from the perspective of standing right next to the soft drinks. You're looking 60 feet deep. You see that nonsense? That is fucking nonsense. And here's a fun fact, guys. There are far more Dollar Tree back rooms that look like this than don't. That is fact. So let's take a look at another one. All right, this is the wide shot of the back room. That has, is that a table or like a step stool that's folded up? Um, I can see the U-boat and I can see the warning not to put stock on top of your freezers. But yeah, so look at this. I mean, look, this is nightmarish, and blank stares, to your credit. Is this your first retail job?
It's not. Well, I worked retail about over a decade ago, and this is the first one since that length of time, so it's been a while.
Did the back room shock you when you saw it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, I I remember asking that the store manager that was here. I said, "Is it even possible to get all this out onto the floor?" And he said, "No, because they won't quit fucking sending too much shit."
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. We'll get into that here in a minute. Yep. All right. So, and ladies and gentlemen, this is their break area. Look at this area of fine dining. They've got a chair. They got a fridge. They got a microwave, a coffee maker, and then a whole shit ton of mess that's hazardous as hell right next to them. Which is really funny because you can see the store manager referral program. Hey guys, if you can get somebody on as a store manager, you get an extra $500. That ain't changed. Um, and then we've got, this was the one that she talked about. When you look at OSHA violations. Now back here, this is the mop sink. How long did you say it's been since you've been able to get to that?
It has been over a month, so that is over a month I've not been able to mop the nasty bathrooms,
And
for example.
so let me ask you, what does your store manager do about this?
uh, Honestly, I don't know if that's a priority to him right now. He did contact the DM recently, and I think he about had a meltdown. So the DM said he's sending a team out next month
Oh
to
God.
help us.
Well, here's the thing. You know, I know, you try to, organize your priorities, but as a store
Hmm.
manager, that shit right there should be a priority. That should be like priority number one. So that means your bathrooms aren't getting cleaned properly. And
Right.
it's dangerous. I mean, those shells will cut the shit out of you.
Hmm.
And this is absolutely awful. And when you look at historically with Dollar Trees and like OSHA violations, you know, you're saying dude spending 48 hours there or whatnot, he can't take, you know, a day to go back there and just clean it up. I mean, it sucks he has to, but if he's the only one that can, then I mean, just suck it up and go do it, because the message it sends to you guys is that they don't care.
Yeah, I don't even know how it got back in that shape again. Cause for a while I could pull it out easy, go do what I had to do, mop bathrooms, whatever. And then all of a sudden, there's them shelves and boxes blocking my way, and I don't see anywhere to even move the shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, and like I said, I'm not asking you to dog out on your store manager, okay? I'm
Hmm.
asking you from your perspective. What are the things that you see that need to be addressed that are important that everybody seems to be like, oh, it's no big deal?
I would say, for starters, we need more hours so that we can get stuff done. Um, I know, recovery and go backs is probably the biggest part of my job, and I don't have time to do my job because I have to be a cashier for, first half of my shift. So
So
then I'm getting backed up.
let me ask you: is the day shift doing anything to support the closing shift? Are they working on go backs at all, or are they like, oh, we're just leaving it for the closers and they can handle it?
To my knowledge, they don't. I think they focus just on stocking and that's it.
Well, I mean that makes sense because obviously your payroll is awful. I mean, and
Hmm.
no disrespect to anybody working there. I mean, I know how it is, but you don't have the resources, and that's the problem. So, have you met your district manager?
I met him one time last year in June, I think. It was the day of inventory he showed up. And yeah, that was back in June, I think. And I haven't seen him since in person.
Has he been there since June?
I think I've been told maybe twice that he came in for a visit, but that's it.
Wow. Well, that's a shitty DM. So I'll just
Hmm.
say that. So is your restroom's not through that back room, is it?
No,
Okay. So you have a separate restroom from that. You guys still doing the security seals on the doors?
we have a bag of them in the safe. I'm wanting to say in the back stock room they keep a seal on
Mm-hmm.
it. The other emergency exit, I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Wow. See, that's another thing because you should be. You really should. Um,
Should have been trained on it.
yes, you should have been trained on it. You should
Oh
have.
well.
Because here's the thing: do you only have one door out the back, or do you have like a fire exit somewhere, like next to the bathroom?
We have fire exit by the bathrooms, and I'm thinking there might be another emergency exit in the stockroom by the receiving door.
Fun fact: both those doors should have seals on them. So if somebody
Oh.
runs out those doors and you haven't been trained, you should know that those doors get open and that seal gets popped. You need to go put another seal on it and write it down, and then write down
Hmm.
why it was open. And that's a training issue, because if you haven't been trained on that, then ain't your fault, right?
Right. Yep.
Um, uh, I'm assuming you guys have a dumpster instead of a compactor, right?
Yes, we have a dumpster.
You have to take your truck out back, your trash out back.
Hmm.
Right. So, um, from the standpoint of store conditions and like what you would say is unsafe, um, you know, and also real quick, going back to the doors, do you take trash out at night, or do you just leave trash back there for them to get in the morning
I take it out at night.
through the back door?
No, I go out the front and walk around the building.
What? They make you walk around the front
Yep.
of the fucking building?
Well, sometimes I started doing that because I can't wedge trash through the stockroom
Oh, okay, that's
sometimes.
valid
Yeah.
too. That is valid.
Yeah.
Um, wow, that is crazy,
Hmm.
crazy. So are you a freestanding Dollar Tree, or are you in a shopping center?
Freestanding.
Oh, so you're freestanding. So
Hmm.
was it like an old Rite Aid building or something like that, or was it something they built from the ground up?
It's an old Rite Aid building.
Very familiar. Those. See, and that's a big building, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
And you're running on what, basically four people a day.
Correct. If that.
Shit don't happen. It doesn't work that way,
No.
and you know it. I mean, so tell us a little bit. I'm going to let you kind of go off and rant, on your issues that you have. You could start, with like safety violations or whatnot, but just give us a rundown of the things that are problems that nobody wants to address.
Well, I feel like me being stuck on register the first 3 or so hours of my shift is complete bullshit because I've done 100 other things that's expected to somehow get done. But I can't do that if since I'm stuck on the register. It I, I can't make logical sense out of it. Why managers have to do that when they're expected to be doing everything on their agenda. Um, Staffing really bothers me. When my first 6 months here, I'd say we were fully staffed. We had more than enough people, and then all of a sudden, people are, leaving, whatever, and corporate don't want to give enough payroll to, fill these spots we desperately need. Like we need more than two cashiers for just night shift.
All right, so I'm looking at the message you sent me on Twitter.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
now here's something, guys, and there's a few of us in this chat that we worked for this business, and we know this is an out and out lie. You stated that per your district manager, the entire store should be recovered, shelves faced, entire customer created mess within an hour.
Yes,
Uh, what? That's not humanly possible in those stores. You can only
I
you,
agree.
you can only front face an entire Dollar Tree in an hour if they've been front facing it like every hour of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fucking insane. It's not possible.
No, it's really not. I'd be lucky to get. maybe 2 aisles, you know, front and face good in an hour.
Okay, I have to ask this question. What is the
Mhm.
worst aisle in the store, and why is it a toy aisle?
uh,
How bad's your toy aisle?
it's uh,
Uh huh.
it's the most disorganized for sure. You know, we set boxes of toys out on the shelves. Somehow they all get mixed in together. They get flying out on the floor.
We
Then you know you got
we talked about this
do
the
what?
other night about the
Mm-hmm.
toy aisle at Dollar Tree is a disaster. It doesn't matter what store
Mm-hmm.
you're in. That like if you walk like I'm betting that if I asked you how long it would take you if you were left alone and didn't have to do anything else, how long would it take you to clean up and reorganize the entire toy aisle? I'm betting you're going to tell me a day or two.
Yeah, absolutely. If
Yep.
if I didn't give up
E-
and just say fuck it.
Oh, exactly. And that's the thing. Um, also, you said OSHA violations. So we obviously saw the mop bucket. Um, has
Hmm.
the company not been sending down like emails and shit saying you better get this stuff fixed because it's kind of been a hot button in the press that Family Dollar and Dollar Tree are just getting crucified with OSHA violations?
I know the DM has contacted the store manager about it recently, asking why is it like that?
Because you don't give us enough people to get the damn job done. But anyway, um, and you said it's a pretty big store. You got 10 total aisles, and are those like? Do you have breaks in between the aisle, or just 10 long aisles?
It's 10 long aisles.
Oh wow! But
Hmm.
you're saying here, you typically work 4 to 9:30. So I'm assuming you guys close at 9.
Yes.
See, the store we were closing at 10, and that that
Oh,
that sucked too. Um, but you make a good point here. Along with recovery, you've got to do markdowns, clean the bathrooms. You got to be the backup
hmm.
cashier, the closing paperwork, cashier audit. You got to take the trash out, all the nightly stuff. Basically, kill yourself preparing the store to be trashed again the next day. Um, and they expect you to get all that shit done in 5.5 hours. Really, 5 hours, because it takes that last 30 minutes if you've been busy just to get the place, get the money and everything done.
Yeah. I feel defeated most days knowing I'm doing this, and tomorrow the customers are going to swoop in and fuck it all right back up.
Well, here's the thing: don't feel bad about it. And the reason I tell you don't feel bad about it because it's a losing battle there. It is an
Yeah.
absolutely losing battle without having the people there. You guys don't pay all that great, so you're not going to get top tier talent. She was telling me before we came on live that they're part time people. They had cashiers. They were only scheduling them for 9 hours a week. That's not worth
Hmm.
coming to work for. That's what? That's two 4.5 hour shifts.
Yep.
So what did you guys hire a bunch of seasonal help for Christmas?
We hired one seasonal assistant manager,
That was it.
and that was it.
What? That was it. That's all you hired for Christmas.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So back in the day, I don't know if it's the same way now and you're just not cognizant and have been given the information. We had this thing called a people planner where they would send down what they anticipated our sales to be through the fourth quarter, and we were to hire X amount of temporary part-time employees for seasonal. And it was
Mhm.
it was more than one person. If you were smart and you did it right, it could be 3 to 5 people. So you guys only hired one person for the holidays.
Yep.
So how
Just that one person.
so how many people do you have working in your store total on staff, including you?
Store manager, me, two merch, temporary, 7.
Holy shit! You only have 7 employees.
Yep.
What kind of sales do you guys do a day?
Normally, our sales are projected to hit about roughly 2,300 a day.
Okay, that's about average. What's your Saturday sales normally?
Um, Saturdays about, I want to say about 3,500 if I'm remembering correctly.
Okay, so one thing to you elitist assholes out there watching this that like the doggone dollar stores and say, "Oh, look, you only did $2,300." Okay, buddy, you know that's almost 2,300 pieces of merchandise you move a day,
Yeah.
not considering the theft. So I want you to think about your store that you're in right now, and if 2,300 items got knocked out of the store, imagine what it's going to look like on certain categories. And going back to the trucks, you guys, Dollar Tree doesn't, the managers don't get to order their freight. It gets sent in. And to her point, where she made the comment about the store manager saying they kept sending shit in, that's what they do. You don't even know it's coming. It just shows up. And in Dollar Tree, is the party aisle still the only aisle that's planogrammed?
I don't I don't even think I've seen a planogram for it since I've been here. I see like the seasonal books they send that have planograms in them, but I've not seen a planogram for party.
Yeah, when we were there, the only aisle that was planogrammed was the party wall. That was it. Everything else was footage, like you would have to have, 10 feet of feminine products, 20 feet of like foot care or whatnot. And you were expected when this new merchandise came in to just work it in when you didn't have time to do it. So
Wow.
wow. So yeah, you said we have 2 cashiers and 5 managers.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yep.
if you don't mind me asking, and you can say no if you want to, all right, you're not required. Do you mind telling us, as an assistant manager, how much they're paying you?
I make 12 an hour.
You make $12 an hour to carry keys and
Yes.
walk around a dark building at night and throw the trash away.
Yeah, totally worth it, right?
You deserve better. Russell, in the chat, what were you making when you left? I know, and I mean, you're making 12. I don't think these guys are making that much better. Okay. I'm about to find out if Russell will let me know what he was making. Russell was my assistant. I will tell you, and I've got no problem saying this. My salary for running the Dollar Tree I was running was, when I left, $49,000 a year.
Yeah. My last store manager told me his was 55, I think.
Well, I think they jumped up the store manager salaries to keep them from quitting, but it didn't work because they're working them into the damn ground. And that's all well and good, because when if you have store managers that really care and are really trying to do something special, for Dollar Tree, you work a ton of hours, and when you break it up by the hour, you're not making that much. Russell says, he what Russell, you were making 1075 at Cherrydale after. Okay, so Russell was my assistant. I had no say so in his pay. Our DM, and it's probably the same way with you guys. The DM judges who's going to make what. So Russell had been at Dollar Tree for 6 years. He was a key carrier and assistant manager. He was making 1075, and then Mel, when were you an assistant manager at Dollar Tree? When she was an ASM there, she was making 825. Hero was $10.
What?
Yeah. Um, so, but yeah, so 12, but still $12 an hour blank stares is not worth when you look at that back room and you look at what you have to do. And I think anybody that works in retail that has never worked in a dollar store or a Dollar Tree, I wish there was some kind of like field day that retail people could take and they could spend an entire day in a Dollar Tree to see what actually goes on there. It is amazingly horrible.
Yeah, there
So,
should be a course
yeah.
offered in college.
So so you're making 12. Have they and when was the last time you got a raise?
I got a 40-cent raise in October.
In October. All right. So,
Hmm.
um when are you eligible for another raise?
I'm not sure. I I want to say I was told they just do raises every October.
Every October. That sounds about right. That seems to be the thing. See what else you had here. Stockroom is a disaster. Correct. Correct. We've seen the pictures. Pallets way above 8 feet high. A very narrow path to walk through the back. Um, the last store manager quit in October because of the district manager. The new store manager has been there about a month or so, correct?
Yes.
So you should be able to see the wear and tear on him very quick. Very, very quick.
Yep.
Um,
I have.
I agree with this statement. You said, I feel like there's absolutely no logic in sight with the higher ups. They're not. They're not. Um, the DM is hyper focused on win the week and wants those stock quotas met, even though there is very limited manpower. So, stock quotas, are you talking about how quick the truck gets processed?
I'm mainly referring to cases per hour.
Okay, so what are they expecting you to work cases per hour right now?
Uh,
Or is it still based by like category? Like, when I was there, the cases per hour differed from like party and then like snacks and whatnot.
Second, I've got a paper right in front of me that has the expectations. Case, okay. HBC, for example, is 25, and then food, candy, pets is 30, chemicals. It looks like 30 is the highest expectation and 15 is the lowest.
Well, if your store was fully staffed, you could do that. But guess what?
Right.
When you're there, and do you get left U-boats like when you come in, say at 4? There's a U-boat waiting for you that says you should have it done in X amount of time, but you're the manager on duty. You've got to do all this other shit. You're going to have to run a register.
There are U-boats left, but I honestly I haven't cut a box open in a couple months since I had to start hopping on the register as soon as I come in. Because by the time the cashier comes in for the evening, it's time for me to, recover, do go backs, all, all my other duties like trash audit. So I don't have time to stock on
Well, no,
evenings.
you don't. If you're coming in at 4 o'clock or if you're coming in at 3, they're going to
Mhm.
be lucky to get 15 cases out of you because I know I
Right.
was there. I mean, you can't do that. It doesn't work that way. And
No.
but it's a systemic problem with the company. Yes, everything everything's, a low price point and it's low margin and I get that, but that's the business that they designed. You still need bodies to
Hmm.
do things. So, are you also responsible at any point for working frozen and dairy?
No. Actually, I never have been. Um, when I would stock, it'd usually be like crafts, HBC. I've never touched frozen and dairy, to be honest with you.
So, who does that in your store?
The other day, about 2 days ago, the store manager done it all by himself.
Do you do a pretty good bit of business out of that department?
Uh, it depends on what we have. Just the other day, when my store manager fully stocked the coolers and the freezers, we have been doing a lot. But before that, uh, our coolers and freezers were pretty bare.
Um, Now, were they bare because he hadn't been ordering it, or they hadn't been sending it, or do you know?
I'm not sure. I've not heard anything about anybody ordering.
Does Dollar Tree still carry eggs at all?
Ours don't.
Mm,
We used to, but I've not seen eggs in months
yeah,
here.
with the price of eggs, I just don't see how Dollar Tree could do that. Now,
Yeah.
have they? Has anybody ever talked to you about how the business actually works? Like, are you aware that all the stuff that they sell in those freezers and coolers, like 95% of it, they make no money on whatsoever? Did you know that?
Uh, I did, but not from anyone I work with. I think maybe I read it on Reddit.
Wow. So the company that yeah,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing is like that entire section only exists to bring people in the door so they'll buy like paper plates and shit. You know,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. It's a sad thing. But the that's another thing. I mean, you're a manager. You carry keys. They trust you with the cash. They trust you with closing the store, but they're
Hmm.
not obviously giving you a lot of inner workings into the business. And and that's a shame, because lots of times if you've got a manager that teaches you and tells you what's going on, and why things are, and does that for the whole staff, things start to get better. But also, I also understand you get a new store manager coming in there. They've been told, hey, you're a great store manager. We know you can clean this building up, and we're going to give you a little bit more money to come here. And they get there and they're like, what the fuck is going on here? And get spun out
Hmm.
real fast. Like, for instance, and Russell would, say the same thing. I took care of all the seasonal. Russell was a big part of getting the truck put out. You know, we had some long term employees that have been there for a while. The staffing wasn't really much better than what you have, but it
Hmm.
was everybody on the same page. And trust me,
Yeah.
the store when and Russell will tell you this. I mean, we walked into that building, it was a disaster. It was just like what you're dealing with. And it
Hmm.
sent me into a spiral. I mean, I wound up leaving Dollar Tree because of that place, because it was like it just took too much. And you know, for you show up to work, you do what you can, you do your best, but they're expecting more. It's a shitty company. All right, it what they do to these stores is awful. It's damn
Hmm.
near impossible. Um, you know, every once in a while you'll find some unicorn amazing Dollar Tree out in bumfuck Egypt that just happens. Everything works great. The store looks wonderful. The customer base is fantastic. But when you look at Dollar Tree's history of where they put stores, they put them in areas where it's almost like a war zone, and it's a
Hmm.
huge challenge just to keep them maintained. And I can't imagine how many nights you go home frustrated that you're going to walk back into work the next day and your manager's going to be bitching to you about something, and you did the best you could do, but you just didn't have enough hands to get it done.
I do. I'll go home and I worry about all night.
To be honest, I do. It sticks with me.
Yeah, well, it does. I mean, and I like the idea that you're looking to try to get back into like another field and whatnot. You
Hmm.
know, Dollar Tree as a concept isn't bad. Okay, you need low price stores. You just do. But like a
Hmm.
lot of other retailers, Dollar Tree treats employees as, what I've talked about since the beginning of this podcast. You guys are controllable expenses. And rather than cut some fat off the top, and rather than, cut costs elsewhere, you got cashiers working 9 hours a week. Whatever. I mean,
Yep.
you're not going to function and you're not going to survive. You're going to be in the, hey, Dollar Tree, you got your new CEO? I'm here to tell you, I worked for you for 5 fucking years. If you don't get your shit straight, y'all going to wind up spending every bit of profit you make on paying the federal government for all your damn OSHA violations. Put some people in your fucking building. Grow your business. Quit being dipshits. Do the right fucking thing or shut your fucking doors. But anyway, having said that, all right, so I'm going to pull up the question of the week, and I want you to listen to these comments and chime in because what you're going to hear, you're going to be like, I live this. I know. So, you ready for this?
Hmm.
All right. So,
Yep.
question of the week was, do you shop at Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, or Dollar General? If you do, what are your thoughts on their staffing and store conditions? Cranky Manager says, we have a Dollar Tree. Ours is yuck, just dingy looking. I only go there after trying all the other dollar stores. Pretty much only buy greeting cards there. Karen Harrison says, nope, will not go in one of those stores on a bet. Most of the stuff they have for a buck, I'm not sure I can trust. Plus, there is the sensory overload I get from dollar stores. Can't take grocery stores either. Then we had customer service Larry. Yes, yes, and yes. Depends on the location and the store. Dollar General seems to be usually better staffed. Dollar Tree is a little worse, but usually they are not as well staffed. Family Dollar, it's just sad. When it's well stocked, I like this store a lot, but lately everyone is in shambles. Then Philly Essential Employee says, there's one by me that I'm at every now and then. They unfortunately look like typical retail nowadays. Overworked, stressed, and a face that says, I really don't care if I'm robbed at gunpoint. Wow. Retail PTSD says, I used to because it was next door to an old employer. That store has seen some better days. Then we had Live and S. I feel for the staff, always understaffed and overburdened. And then Mel. We shop at Dollar General often. It's hard to walk around because there are always carts in the aisles full of boxes and totes needing to be put on the shelves. There's never more than 2 people working, and there's always a line. Our particular store has a high turnover, too. She also said, we're friendly with most of the workers, and they've mentioned everyone quits because of poor management. It's the same sad story. They're understaffed and overworked. And then we had TM Lens. Every once in a great while, I'll hit Dollar Tree. Usually has been for party supplies. I have always felt bad for the lack of staffing. I don't remember ever seeing more than 2 people working. And that definitely showed in the way the store looked. Boxes of freight everywhere and tons of out of stocks. And then Patricia Hutchins, she said, I live in a small town. We have a Dollar General and a Family Dollar. Both of them are poorly staffed. There is generally load in the aisles at all times, and the cashier is also the one trying to put it out in between customers. Sassy Maggie says, our local Dollar Tree is a sad mess, and I feel bad for everyone who works there, and I want to help them with shipment all the time. Kayla Waters, I rarely go in either one of them, once a month or less, often than that. I have my same few stores that I go in on a weekly basis. And then Crystal said, I live in a rural Midwest, so Dollar General and Family Dollar are among our relatively few options. Dollar General is depressingly understaffed, and the staff they do have are clearly underpaid. The aisles are always full of stock that needs to be put up. I'd pay more if they raised the wages. Also, you can always tell when wealthy reporters are writing about dollar stores because they don't seem to know the major difference between Dollar Tree has compared to Dollar General and Family Dollar. Almost everything at Dollar Tree is $1.25. The other two are mini Walmarts. Michelangelo says, I live in a suburban area that borders a heavy rural area. There's a Dollar General here. It is very understaffed. The staff there look miserable and angry all the time. Always try to treat them kindly. And then Courtney Cox says, understaffed in my area, notoriously shitty to employees. So a lot of that sound familiar?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good thing. It kind of makes me feel normal, or I just feel bad for all of us that work in these dollar stores. And I was also in my head comparing a lot of the comments to my own experiences
Mm-hmm.
going in the Dollar Generals near me. It's just so common. There's two people working, boxes everywhere, can't walk around in the aisles. I don't see how these places are still standing.
Well, it's the dollar store model. What Dollar Tree and Dollar General and Family Dollar do from a business standpoint is a great idea. But the problem is they will not pony up the money to have enough staff in there to make it what it should be. So everybody loses. The customers lose out
Mm-hmm.
on a good shopping experience. The employees lose out because it's turn and burn. Everybody gets stiffed. Um, Mad Dog just said, "This is not normal. Do not accept this as it should be." Correct, but it's that's the problem with these companies. It really is. You know, my experience with Dollar Tree was if you found the unicorn store and you worked in it, it was great. Russell and I started out in the store in the mountains. Kind of basically different clientele, older clientele, cleaner clientele. In that store, honestly, we could recover that entire store. We would start at 6 p.m. and by 9 p.m. our store would look perfect. But once you moved along to bigger volume stores and whatnot, that just didn't happen. And the company
Mm-hmm.
absolutely refuses to staff stores properly for the business because they look at a dollar amount. You know, you could eat, I mean, even if you're in a higher volume store, you might do $5,000 on a Saturday. To most businesses out there, they laugh at you. Oh, you only did 5 grand on Saturday? You know what kind of damage 5,000 pieces of merchandise does to your store? A lot.
Right.
And the company should find better ways to streamline costs and staff the damn place like a regular fucking store. You can't run a business on 2 people on day shift and 2 people at night shift. And you motherfuckers up there in Chesapeake, wherever you're at, do y'all really believe that shit? No, you don't. I guess you just think you're going to keep hiring people until you run out of people to hire and then you'll just close the store down. Run the damn business right, man. And
So hard.
go ahead.
Sorry. It's just so hard for us individually to function, on the skeleton crew bullshit. I think it sucks the life out of all of us that work here, and I imagine at probably every other Dollar Tree. It's not healthy. It's had a negative impact on my health.
Well, yeah, and it's going to continue to do so. And that's the problem. I'm
Hmm.
looking at the comments here. Blame Tech says running on 2 workers and a wish. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, and Hybrid Hooligan, he's got a valid point. Unfortunately, it's cheaper to pay the fines to OSHA than it is to do anything that's of good moral value.
Hmm.
It's true. And Hero just said, could you imagine if the unions got a hold of Dollar Trees? If Dollar Trees unionized, they'd go out of business. They would shut that shit down. Because if the CEO of Dollar Tree really gives a shit about the customer experience and gives a shit about their employees, they'll fix it. They've yet to fix it. It's gotten worse since I left. I mean, it was hard when I was
Yeah.
there, but it's gotten worse. We watch a cartoon slash anime called Red versus Blue based on the video game Halo, and they had a character called Caboose, and one of his statements was never go backwards. Well, Dollar Trees went backwards. The stores look like
Mhm.
shit. There's never anybody there to work and make it look okay. It's the answer is quite obvious, but because they don't want to get away from that dollar price point, $1.25 price point, they're not going to invest in the most valuable asset that they can have, which is their people. Hero asked, said you said the store's only been there a couple of years, right? So you guys have tile floors, not carpet.
Correct.
Oh, thank God. The carpet's awful.
Yeah,
Have you been in any of the stores with the
yeah.
carpet?
I have
Oh,
not.
be thankful. You want to talk about how bad it is to clean a store? They had this bright idea years ago to have a bunch of stores with carpet tiles in them. It was terrible, terrible.
Yes.
So anyway, before we get off here, I want you to kind of close us out and tell us what you think about the company, if somebody should work for it, what you think should happen, and then we will leave it at that, ma'am.
Okay. Unless that is a person's only option for a job, I would absolutely avoid working for Dollar Tree. Um, I thought I could do good if I became a manager here. I'm not doing any better. I'm ready to get away. I I don't like how the company functions. Like I said, they seem to believe in running the skeleton crew. It's hurt me health wise, hurt my mental state. Um, yeah, just the company as a whole, I view it very negatively, and I would not recommend a person choose it for employment.
Well, there you go. Having said that, you stay in contact. Let me know what goes on, from here on out. And if you wind up getting out, let me know too. Because it'd be really cool. Like if you wind up getting out and you go somewhere else, we can have you back on and you can talk about the differences. If that's something you're
Yeah.
interested in doing. So, having said that, take care of yourself. Don't let that company kill you because it can and it will if you let it. So you do your best at what you can do. Get on out of there and live your life. All right.
I will, and thank you so much for letting me talk.
Oh, anytime. So if something winds up happening later on and you're still there and you got some juicy scoop or whatnot, let me know and we'll bring you back. So, having said it, everybody, if I agree with her, unless you just need a job and no one else will hire you, stay away. Dollar Tree Corporate, figure your shit out, man. Staff these stores so shit can get done. I'll be more than happy to meet any one of you guys at any store, anywhere, and walk you through and tell you why what the bullshit you do don't work. Because I know. I've been there. And I have other people around me that have been there too. I could bring them along. Probably won't listen. Probably won't care. That's fine. Keep doing your shit. But we don't want to see no articles here in a few months about how Dollar Tree can't keep employees. You know what? Do your employees right, and they'll do right by you. Until then, fuck off. Having said that, everybody have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.